I just recorded this whole thing and then I realized it kept stopping and starting. So I'm going to do it all again. Okay. So, um, you had suggested the first thing, I'm going to do this again. It looked like what you were doing is you were selecting a part, copying and pasting, and then trying to like connect the dots. And what Justin said is he doesn't have the ability to directly like connect the dots and meet like because it like snapping to dots is because it has a lot of math to figure out and that's kind of complicated. And he's going to add that and that's on the list to be adding. And if that's a higher priority, I'll definitely note your higher priority. So let me give you a couple of workarounds for what you're trying to do, I think. Instead of like copying, so if you're like control copy and then you click out here and then paste and then you're trying to like rotate it and connect it and stuff like that and it's not auto snapping, let me try to give you some workarounds, especially if you're making like a circle or something like that. So a couple ways you could do it is you could have a part selected, and if it's just a single part versus a part with two connection dots. We also don't have that thing where you can choose which side it's going to add on to yet. Again, it's coming. So you can select a part and you can copy it. So I'm control copy, or up here in the three dot menu, you can go up here to copy as well. Either way. And then you can still have it selected and you can just paste and it'll just keep pasting stuff on around and around and around. Or you can do copy. So I, made an extra copy of the piece. So you can do this, you can copy, and then you could also do duplicate, which is Control D, and I'm using a touchpad combination and keys, but I think you can still use mouse buttons. You could do duplicate, and it'll also duplicate it, and it'll just pop it right onto, like automatically pop it right onto the piece that you are working with, as long as you have a piece already selected. It also works if you select a group of parts, and then you do duplicate, which there's a duplicate here, there's the duplicate in here, and then it's also Control D, or copy and paste. So if you select a group of parts, then you can just Control duplicate and it pops it right on there. And I think because this was the active side, maybe that's why it popped it onto that side. But that's like auto connecting, and it's a lot easier to make it auto connect than it is to, be dragging stuff around. Or if you've got it on the wrong direction, you'd be like, oh, okay, but I want to go over here and do it to this one. And then you could just come back over here and delete them. So that's a couple of, even if you don't want to copy and paste, and if you want to just add like a different part, so you have a part connected and say, I want to put on another piece, like, I don't know, a triple switch or something. You have the piece selected, and then you just click on another piece, and then you can, it just auto kind of connects it on there. Now, something like this is going to be tough because we don't have the auto selection yet. So if you want to connect something and you're trying to figure out where I'm going to put my curve or my straight rail out, it'll do it out of, I think what Justin has made is like the default connection here, right here. But that is because, and then if you're like, oh, well, actually, I want it to go out of this side, don't know how I would do that. You'd have to rotate it and move it around, and that would be frustrating and stuff. But even if you do this, oh, I wonder what happens if you do this, and then you add a straight rail. Oh, it added it onto the same connection. Oh, that's annoying. I just discovered something fun. Anyway, so for curves, straights, switches, stuff like that, even like a crossing, you can select the part, copy and duplicate, copy and paste, or have a part selected and then bring another part, like click on another part down here in the part selection menu, and it'll auto connect. So that hopefully should help your copy and paste like issue. As for the hitboxes, Justin told me that for the curves, the hitboxes are actually a rectangle. So when you're doing this, and it's selecting the part, it's supposed to be selecting the part, and you're only selecting a little piece of it, it's because it's a rectangle. So if you're getting like that and not the part, and I'm not even doing it at all, it's because it's a rectangle for the curves. When you were doing it for the straights, and like if you go up here, I gotta do this without hitting, here, let me recreate this real quick. Because if I hit spacebar, it'll undo my thing. When you were doing the hitbox thing where it was doing this, and then it was selecting this, like it hit this and then, well, I mean, that's not supposed to, but like, and you were going over here and it was not hitting, depending, or like this. But then when you did it like this, it was also getting these pieces down here. That's weird, and that's not supposed to happen, and I don't know if that's a bug, but Justin's going to look into that, because that's definitely not supposed to happen. And then when you were zooming in, and you were getting kind of close, and it wasn't even selecting it at all, that's weird too. I don't know, like this kind of thing. Like, it's the hitbox thing is definitely something that we're going to look into. You know, that's not like oh, this is Justin's logic or whatever. It's a weird thing that, like, that's not supposed to happen that way. But as for the connection points and the yellow dots, that is some workarounds until we have, like, an auto connect, like, an auto snapping thing. And then as for, I'm trying to go through my list of things that you said, the color, like color selection, you know, he's like, yeah, I know it's not that great and everybody doesn't love it. You know, he just says, what are other suggestions that other people have? And some people made some suggestions on that. So if you have some suggestions on that, let me know. But otherwise, this weird selection hitbox thing is definitely not, I'm using a touchpad. I wonder if it's a mouse thing. But again, I don't particularly understand. Justin does, and he's like, that's weird. That's not supposed to happen. I'll look into it. So I just wanted to get back to you on the things. And I super appreciate your feedback. That is so important for us so that we know what's going on and we know what you're thinking and we know what you're trying to do and how you're trying to use it. And also thank you as well for using us, checking us out, and going through and making a layout for your lug. I'm happy to help with any other questions, but I appreciate you, and I'll send this along.